I'm calling to order and reconvening this public hearing or roundtable of the Committee of the Whole of the Council of the District of Columbia. I'm Phil Mendelson, Chairman of the Committee of the Whole and Chair of the Council of the District of Columbia. Today is Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. The time is 3:14 in the afternoon, and we are conducting this hearing or roundtable virtually via the Zoom video conference platform. It's available, I believe, live through the chairman's website, www.chairmanmendelson.com/live. And it will be posted soon after the hearing on the council's website, which is www.dccouncil.us, where it will be stored forever as part of our legislative records. This roundtable concerns several nominations by the mayor to the Board of Industrial Trades. And as I said at the outset, this is a reconvening of a roundtable that was recessed on April 26th. So this hearing began on April 26th, where we heard from a couple of witnesses, actually I believe 3, and I shouldn't say witnesses, I should say nominees. And today we will hear from 2 others. And those 2, and the subject of this roundtable is proposed resolutions 24-137, Board of Industrial Trades Garth Granum confirmation resolution of 2021, and PR 24-138, Board of Industrial Trades Michael Johnson confirmation resolution of 2021. The mayor sent these nominees to the council on or about March 26, 2021. They'll be deemed approved without any action by the council on Friday, May 28th. But my intention, assuming all goes well with this hearing or roundtable, is to move them for affirmative action by the council next week, Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. The stated purpose of PR 24-137 is to reappoint Garth Granum as a refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic licensed in the District of Columbia, member of the Board of Industrial Trades, for a term to end June 26, 2023. And the stated purpose of PR 24-138 is to confirm the mayor's nomination for reappointment of Michael Johnson as a plumber licensed in the District of Columbia, member of the Board of Industrial Trades, for a term to end on April 16th, 2023. Those end dates are slightly different between the 2 resolutions. The record in this matter will close at 5 p.m. on Monday, May 17th, 2021. So anyone who wishes to submit testimony or comments on either of these nominations has until then to do so, 5 p.m. next Monday. With that, let me call to the table, figuratively speaking, Mr. Garth Granum and Mr. Michael Johnson.
Oh.
Why under his name?
Okay.
That's fine.
Now, I have to say the interesting thing from where I'm sitting with my screen is that you both, you were both
Yes.
same name, but now you've changed your names.
Yes.
And that's a good thing, because otherwise I would be confused. So
Okay.
do either of you have statements to make? And why don't we
I gave a written one.
Okay, we don't have that.
Oh, I don't know who wants to go first. I've been in the city forever, born and raised, Columbia Hospital for Women. Still live in DC, went to DC public schools. Been plumbing my whole life. I'm a member of the Georgetown Palisades Lions Club and a member of my church in the Palisades. I spent my whole life in the district, and I like to give this opportunity back to help as much as I can with my industry and the District of Columbia.
And you say that you did submit a written statement.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll have to look for that. Did you give it to us or did you give it to? The
Young
mayor's
lady,
office of-
I think it was the office of, I forgot her
Appointments.
name. I can look it up. Yes, sir.
All right, so they need to forward that to us.
Okay.
Perhaps you could remind them.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we have to prod them a bit.
It's okay, Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Ganem, do you have a statement?
Yes, I do. I submitted it twice to Ms. Patterson and to Mr. Walker.
Mrs. Patterson. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm looking at Blaine Stum on my staff and we don't have it.
Okay. I'm prepared to read it if it
Please.
would help. Okay.
Please.
Okay. Well, for starters, good afternoon. Council Chairman Phil Mendelson and council members. First, I'd like to thank the council chairman, Mr. Mendelson, the committee and the Mayor Browser for appointing me for another term to the Board of Industrial Trades. I'm honored to appear before you today to share my testimony. I was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago. I completed my studies in Alberta, Canada, and my focus of study was HVAC and mechanical system design for commercial and residential buildings. Soon after, I migrated to this wonderful city, Washington, D.C. in 1987, and have lived here ever since. I launched my career in Washington, D.C., where I received my master HVAC license and began specializing in custom HVAC design build projects. This eventually led to partnerships with a prominent developer and architect who were building custom houses in affluent neighborhoods in the District of Columbia. It was in this capacity that I designed heating and ventilation systems with multiple zones on a single unit in private residences. Soon afterwards, my expanding expertise in custom HVAC design allowed me to include projects located in British Virgin Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, and Brooklyn, New York. I was a creative designer for the mechanical system for the motor vehicle building in the British Virgin Island of Tortola. I specified the first variable refrigerant flow system on the island that is currently being monitored remotely in the District of Columbia by myself. I currently still consult on projects with the chief architect in the British Virgin Islands and teach HVAC at Prince George's Community College Workforce Development Program. Over the last 32 years, I've gained a wealth of experience in the HVAC field and feel strongly that I will be able to leverage that experience to provide guidance and advocacy to the board. Moreover, if I'm reappointed, I will continue to bring my fellow board members a unique perspective that comes not simply from my extensive didactic knowledge of cutting-edge techniques in HVAC, but from my experience collaborating with members of diverse trades, including, but not limited to, elevator contractors, crane operators, stationary engineers, and facility management. Like the board, among the most important mantras which guide my mechanical, managerial, and technical acumen are service, responsibility, and integrity. I believe that I can serve my community well by drawing upon my vast knowledge based to assist with the review, approval, deferral, or disapproval examinations, endorsement, and reinstatement of license applications. I also pride myself on being dependable and consistent. I understand that the board and commission members are expected to have these attributes. Finally, as a direct service provider and experienced facility director of a 230-bed long-term care nursing facility, I hold dear the level of integrity that is needed when families put their loved ones' lives in the facility's hands. I've learned over time that respecting the public's trust and recognizing the criticality of the public's interests as priorities cannot be underscored. I've volunteered on the board since 2016 and shall be honored to serve another term. I enjoy an excellent record of working with all levels on the board of industrial trades to accelerate development of teams, displace antiquated practices, introduce new process enhancements, and improve functional performance for maximum ROI. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
I do have mine also, sir. It's not quite as long, but I do have it. The copy that I sent her, I'd be happy to read it if you need so.
Sure, why don't you?
Okay, sure. Good afternoon, Councilmember Mendelson, and thank you for this opportunity. I would like to thank Mayor Bowser and Chairman Mendelson for the for this commitment for consideration to reappoint. I'm sorry, it's hard to read through this to another term of the Board of Industrial Trades. I am delighted to appear before this afternoon to speak to you. I've been a plumber in Washington, D.C., in the city of my birth for over 34 years. I have been in business myself in the plumbing for over 25 years. As a result, I know the city very well, say born and raised here. I've been involved in the professional associations, the Masters Plumbers Associations, and the PACC Association throughout my career and many years of service, as well as a community association of the Georgetown Palisades Lions Club. I've been a member since I've been 18, in the Palisades Community Church. I have served on the Board of Industrial Trades since 2019, and I think the board has accomplished a lot, which I do believe, which is a blessing for this city, to be honest with you. I'm glad to see things move forward, which I do think they have done quite a bit well lately. I would be honored to and would seriously appreciate the opportunity to be reappointed to the board and have a opportunity to continue to serve as a resident of this great city. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Let me ask a couple of questions, maybe more than two. Mr. Johnson, you said you've served on the board since 2016, beginning in 2016?
19, sir.
2019.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you began in 2019.
Yes, sir.
It was you, Mr. Granum, who said you began in
2016.
How have you seen the board change, if it has, since you first joined?
Well, for starters, it took us a while to get and maintain a quorum, which is, we have a quorum and we have some really good people on the quorum. We have done a lot in terms of working diligently and getting reciprocity agreement with other states, getting unlicensed people off the street and getting them to get licensed, encouraging them to get licenses. That's been a major push on our part. And I think that is one of the biggest things that we have accomplished since I started, to get rid of people who are working without licenses and getting into trouble with consumers calling us. And I want to continue pushing ahead with that and pushing ahead with reciprocity so that we could get more people, more qualified people to work in the District of Columbia, provide good quality work to our community.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir. I can add to that exactly what he said. Our board is also working very hard on the reciprocity. We have been able to do that with the electrical industry and a couple other ones through Maryland and Virginia. We're having a hard time to get through WSSC, which is their own little jurisdiction, but we are working that. I've actually am on the board of the Plumbing Association out in Maryland, and I have contact directly with their inspectors. So I've been working directly through them. Jennifer Champagne and the people that are on that board, they're amazing. I mean, they really, being in the city my whole life, I've seen the good and the bad and the slow and the fast. And it seems like the people on this board have really impressed me. They've always been top notch and professional, and they have the answers. Mr. Blaine said that the trickiest thing in this city right now, and I have pictures on my phone today of the shoddy work that's out here because people are so desperate to get something done, and the illegal work that's been happening. In other words, what I will tell you is it's easier for the city to punish a licensed professional because they hold something over us. Like if we don't get our permit in time, but there's permits on the wall and we're working and we're all licensed, it's easier for the city to come after people like us than it is to go get the people that aren't licensed at all. Like say, I got a picture on my phone right now that someone went on a job. It's so wrong, it's ridiculous. So to get all these people licenses and reciprocity is going to be a huge help to this city for the resident city. I'm a resident too. And I'm sure you have struggled to find good quality people that are willing to come in the district to work. Now I've lived here my whole life, It's hard to get some that want to come in the city. They don't like to park. They don't like the tickets. But I see some of that changing. I do see the plus of that. And you're just the guy I'd like to talk to, because if you got one more second, I'd like to throw something at you. I've been working on this for 2 years. That's the DC flag, and inside the flag, I know it's hard to see, it says working to keep the city working. Mr. Mendelson, I will print 1,000 of those stickers. We could go down to DCRA and charge whatever you want. $200 a year, $100 a year would be fabulous. But the only way you get that sticker is if you can prove that you're licensed and your business is in good standing through the city, period, or you're not allowed to have one of these stickers. Then you should be able to park anywhere in this city legally, no fire hydrants, no blocking the alleys. You know, you can set a time, nothing after 7 o'clock, and you should be able to work. Because like Blaine and I, when you work in residential, you know how big zone 2 is. You know how big zone 3 is. I could have 5 clients in Georgetown. I park 4 blocks away and do another client. I get $100 ticket because I'm in the zone too long. So if we want to get good quality people in here, we have to figure out a way that people aren't scared to come in the city. Like I said, I've been here my whole life, and I do know some of the problems that are happening. And this is a cheap way of doing it. Plus, when he was talking about getting the illegal people out of the city, trust me, anybody that's licensed in this city will get one of these stickers. They'll pay the city $200 to put this on the truck to park anywhere that's legal to work in this city. And if the DDOT or somebody comes by and sees that sticker's not, and they see people carrying tools in and out, you can almost guarantee that they're working illegally in this city. I just want to throw that in because I never get to see you guys personally.
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing the hearing. Let me give some thought to that, because that is a real challenge. I'm pleased to hear that you guys are working on reciprocity. So you would say that the board, I think I heard you say this, Mr. Granum, the board was having quorum problems, but it isn't now?
Yes, it was. When I joined, we canceled many meetings because there was never a full quorum. We couldn't get
But that hasn't been a problem in the last couple of years.
No, since before COVID, we've been meeting regularly and sometimes on schedule because we had subcommittees within the board working on different items, and we were able to get a lot accomplished.
And you're both testifying that the board members are working well together.
Actually, yes.
Yes, great. It's a great group of people.
Absolutely.
That is really good to hear. I had sent each of you some questions before the hearing. I did get those from Mr. Walker, but there were a couple of questions that I always ask at a hearing. To each of you, are you current in your taxes and any other financial obligations to the district and federal government?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Granum?
Yes, sir. I am current.
You each said yes.
Yes, sir.
And do either of you, have you at any point had a conflict of interest, or do you foresee any conflict of interest with your service?
I don't see any. I have not had any. No.
Mr.
Nope.
Johnson?
No, sir. No conflict of interest.
And since you've both been on the board, you know how much time it takes. Do you have the time to serve if you're reappointed? Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir. I think it's a valuable thing if we can help professionals do professional job in this city.
Mr. Granum?
Yes, I agree. I have the time, but there's one caveat I'd like to add, seeing that we have an opportunity here. It's easy now because we are conducting meetings on Zoom, but once we get back to going back to 4th Street, I think I'd like for you guys to consider making some special provisions for us to park when we go down there. It's a problem. And the parking lot, we go to the parking lot and it's what, $30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always bring my company van and try to find a loading zone, but they're taking all the loading zones
Yeah,
away.
so and it's
Even the loading
$30
zones are pulling
and
away.
it is a volunteer position. And we don't get compensated. So I would like for you guys to consider providing parking for us. We only meet once a month for about 3 hours.
I think that's a fair request. Let me just say, though, the council doesn't control the parking there. My guess is that the parking is is made by a private company. And, I recently had some correspondence with the executive branch about the city's parking lots, and I assume they were all run by the government. They weren't, but I will follow up with DCRA and ask them if they can help with the parking.
I mean, this would help if we could get this. I mean,
I
we
hear
could
you.
park somewhere on the side streets and not worried about, 2-hour parking.
Or in the garage, for that man.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing, Mr. Nicholson. I mean, I know you're a smart man, or you wouldn't be sitting where you are, but you've heard the same rumors I heard. Being a resident, I'm not scared to say this. The department, it's turning into the DMV. They're calling the permit agency the new DMV in the District of Columbia. That's what you hear out on the streets, to be honest with you. And we're trying to change that. We're trying to get it more like it should operate. And I think it really has. And from someone that's seen it his whole life, it really has just starting to, the people are good. The permitting is starting to get better. You get answers better. I mean, there's a lot of things that are really coming in the right direction because it's been a struggle. That's why a lot of people don't even want to come in the city to work.
Yeah.
So I do see some positive turn here, which is a blessing because I plan on working for another 15 years and I have to work, not plan on it. And I do see it moving in the right direction.
To each of you, and this will be my final question, are there any particular challenges in terms of issues or policy that are before the board?
No, I think everybody on our board is really, moving forward and trying to make things happen. I feel like we get a lot done. I've been on boards of my church. I've been on other boards, and it seems like we're getting a lot done.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's good.
I think we need to somehow close the divide between ourselves and the actual inspectors that actually do go out and do work in the field. Because I think we can make suggestions. If Blaine, Mike, you could let me know if I'm wrong, but we can make suggestions when letters and complaints come to us, but ultimately we don't have any influence over what happens on that side of it, where they do inspections.
Yeah.
That is the issue, that one board
So we
doesn't
need
talk
to
to
have,
the other.
yes. So if people are sending complaints to us, we can only address but so much of it because there's a divide between the inspection division and the board.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all the boards don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I on this meeting, I will tell you that I've been plumbing for 2 years with an expired business license. Didn't even know it because my plumbing license was good. I would get permits and the permits would go through. It was almost crazy, but it didn't just happen to me. It happened to a lot of people. And we found out that part of it was that there was a glitch, like the computer didn't do something. But how are they letting, like I'm on the board and I'm pulling plumbing licenses. I'm pulling permits to do work. So the permits were pulled, the inspections were made, everything was legal, but my license was expired and we didn't even know it. And my plumbing license was good. So the boards in the industry weren't talking to each other. And we got all that. We got some of that straight. Like I redid my license, but that happened to me and I know better. Like I'm on these, I'm very updated. I make sure all my stuff is good. Like I had a canceled check and everything, but the two boards didn't talk to each other. So even if you're licensed, the permit agency was still letting me pull permits. So it would be nice if the agencies could cross communicate.
Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Granum?
I agree. I concur 100% on that. It is a challenge. It would help us with our deliberations and our recommendations when we have issues. Because sometimes when we make recommendations or we deal with certain issues, they tell us we can't touch it. We can listen, we can hear it, but they have to be referred to another division, which is inspections or something else, but we can't do anything. But the complaints are coming to us.
Yes.
It's almost like, sir, and I know you're busy. It's almost like if there was one time that you can, if all the boards could meet together in one room and just have a conversation. You know, if they could all get together one time and say, hey, this is the problem we're having over here. Why are you letting it happen over there? Because if we're making recommendations and we're saying you can't do this, and then they don't follow up on the inspection agents or the permitting part or the licensing part, then you're chasing your tail.
Yeah. I don't know that I have an answer for you, but this is helpful. I mean, I have oversight over DCRA. So this just gives me more information, and that's good. Anything more either of you want to add before I end this hearing, Mr. Granum?
No, I actually am honored. Like I said before, I was not born in this country, but I have lived here longer than I ever lived anywhere in my life. Since I moved to DC, I fell in love with the city and I have never left it. And I want to continue to serve and be an example for what we should be doing in the District of Columbia.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
I love the city with all my heart. I'm born and raised here. I don't think there's a prettier city on the planet. I would love to be able to retire here one day if I can afford it. I love giving back to the city and on all sorts of venues, selling Christmas trees for Lions Club, my community churches, which John Lewis visited a couple times. I really love it. And I see nothing but improvement in this city in the last 20 years. And I love having the opportunity to give back. I'm passionate about what we do. I'm passionate about my job. And I will tell you, the people on this board, everybody cares and wants to do the right thing. Nobody's volunteering their time to waste their time. There's a great group of people here. Again, Jennifer Champagne is amazing. And everybody's just moving forward.
I take it Jennifer Champagne is the staff person?
Yes. Yeah. She's the oversight. She's amazing. She's on the ball.
That's good to hear. I don't have any other questions for you. I want to thank each of you for your service, and I want to thank each of you for your willingness to continue to serve. I will follow up with some of this. As I said before, the record in this matter will close next Monday at 5 p.m. If either of you want to submit anything more, and I'm not asking you to, you can. But for the benefit of the public, if anybody wishes to submit comments, they can do that till next Monday at 5 for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Going to conclude, that is going to conclude this hearing or roundtable. Again, thank you very much. The time is 3:42 in the afternoon, and this roundtable is adjourned.
Thank you, sir, for your service.
Thank you.
Yep. You enjoy your day, and I hope you and your family are healthy.
You too.